Hi, I'm Grace. I am the literacy specialist at PS94. I am a poet and a writer, and I'm here to have a storytelling lesson with you today. And we're going to read a really great book, one of my absolute favorites, by an author who lives right here in Brooklyn as well. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you a question. So I'm going to share my screen. My question for you is, have you ever walked into a room full of people who seem different from you? And if you'd like, you can write the answer to this question down if you have a piece of paper or a pen, or you can have a discussion, talk through these questions with a grown-up or an adult or anyone in your household. So the first question is, have you ever walked into a room full of people who seem different from you? I know I have. How did you feel? I know sometimes I felt scared and I wasn't sure if they would like me, and because I was new and they didn't know me, they didn't know anything about me, what they might be thinking when I walk in the room. What made you feel that way? What made you feel the way that you felt when you walked into a room full of people who seemed different than you? So I'd like you to either write down the answer to these three questions or have a discussion with your grown-up or anyone in your house. And you can pause the video here to do that. Once you're done, you can unpause and I'm going to continue reading our story for the day. And the story is, drum roll, can you drum roll with me? The Day You Begin. This book is by Jacqueline Woodson, who is an author who has many books. If you like this book, you can enjoy her other books also. And it's illustrated by Rafael Lopez. So we see a little girl here. We see very colorful. This is going to be a very colorful story. This kind of looks like my neighborhood in Brooklyn. And we see a little girl reading out on her windowsill, maybe pigeons. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it will be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. How does this little girl look like she feels right now? How do you think she looks like she feels? There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Rigoberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the class will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets them. How does Rigoberto seem to be feeling here? Rigoberto, from Venezuela, your teacher says so soft and beautifully that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming, the first bright notes of a song. There will be times when the words don't come, your own voice, once huge, now smaller, when the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer? Tell the class your story." "We went to France," Chila says. "These shells came from a beach in Maine." A boy named Jonathan holds out a jar filled with tiny shells so fragile, they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. "My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina, each souvenir a small triumph of a journey, their travels going on and on." So some of these kids are really excited about their travels all over the world, but our friend from the very beginning, she's sitting here looking like maybe she's a little nervous. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb, and your days spent at home caring for your little sister, who made you laugh out loud and hugged you hard at nap time. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she'd fallen to sleep. And in that room where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? So she's feeling a little left out when she's remembering her summer home with her sister. Do you have siblings? Do you help take care of them? Would you feel badly If you spent a summer taking care of your siblings, I think that's great. There will be times when the lunch your mother packed for you is too strange or too unfamiliar for others to love as you do. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high, the run is too fast and far, the game isn't one you can ever really play. I don't want him on our team. You can watch. Maybe you can have a turn later. That's pretty exclusive. That's not very nice. Not very kind. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't yet know what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister, you tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories, and even though we were right on our block, it was like we got to go everywhere. So we found out that this character's name is Angelina. And she feels brave now because she's sharing her story. Your name is like my sister's, Rigoberto says. Her name is Angelina too. And all at once, in the room where when no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. So Rigoberto found out that Angelina's name was his sister's name too, because they're getting to know each other. This is the day you begin to find the places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. So this is part of getting to know each other. And at the end, all of the characters are friends. And how do they look like they feel now compared to the beginning of the book? All right, so let's grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. And I would like you to begin to tell your story by writing a couple of lines, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. What is something about you that might seem ordinary that makes you special? So something that you might not initially tell a new friend, but that actually makes you very special. What is special about you? Because there is something special about everyone. And you can pause the video to answer this question. And once you're done, I have another activity. We're going to make connections to the text, to this story, The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. I want you to think about an event from the book. So the book we just read, something that happened in the book. And I want you to write a line of what happened and then draw a picture. And then I want you to think of something in your life that event in the book made you think of. So if you have a piece of paper, you can make 2 boxes like the ones on the screen, and one will say in the book and the other will say in my life. So think of an event from the book and write it out in a sentence and draw a picture, and then make a connection. What about that event in the book made you think about something in your life? Maybe you felt the same way. Maybe someone looks similar to you. Maybe you saw a playground and you've played on the playground. Maybe someone was looking into a pond and you've looked into a pond. So make a connection, something about the book that connects to your life, and fill in both of these squares, rectangles, really. And you can take your time to do that. And when you've finished, you're all done with this lesson. You did a great job. Remember that you are special and you have a story to tell. And the more people get to know you, the more that they will love you. Thank you so much for your hard work today. And I hope you enjoyed the lesson.